So one message I've been getting quite a bit here lately from family and friends is they will send me clips of Marjorie Taylor Greene and they will say, Brando, I cannot believe that I'm actually agreeing with Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I watch the clips and I say to myself, yeah, I'm in agreement with what she's saying. If I was to be scrolling the internet and suddenly came across her and she was a random person on the internet talking, I would be in agreement with her. But we all know Marjorie Taylor Greene's rotten past. So no matter how hard she breaks from Donald Trump and no matter how hard she goes after him, we're never going to forget exactly what Marjorie Taylor Greene has said and done over the years. But here she is in this next clip. And yeah, if you just randomly came across this video on the internet, you would be going, I agree with her. Take a look.
Tell you what, 6 months in, Steve, and here we are turning back on the campaign promises, and we bombed Iran on behalf of Israel. Yes, it was on behalf of Israel. We're entering a nuclear war, the World War III, because the entire world is going to erupt. And you want to know the people that are cheering it on right now? Their tune is going to drastically change the minute we start seeing flag-draped coffins on the nightly news, on Fox News that brainwashes all the baby boomers, and on CNN that brainwashes all the Democrat baby boomers. And that is exactly how this is going to go down.
Again, if she was some random person on the internet and you just heard her say that, you would be going, yeah, I agree with that. But she's Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is the Susan Atkins to Donald Trump's Charles Manson. She has been one of his most loyal soldiers, and she is who has really helped him to pave the way in this MAGA movement with her racism, her homophobia, her transphobia, her flat-out bigotry and hatred, her cruelty. She is the one who chased kids who had been survivors of school shootings and harassed them. I could sit here all day long. We could go down into the long list of things that Marjorie Taylor Greene has said and done over the years that's absolutely disgusting and despicable. But she is one of Trump's most loyal people. And just because she's trying to look ahead right now and save her own ass down the line, and that's what she's doing. She's just trying to give herself some padding for the terrible landing that she's going to take later on when Trump's out of the picture and she has to go back and put the pieces together. But I want to read to you here this tweet to show you just how truly clueless that Marjorie Taylor Greene really is about all of this. So AOC posted this. She put, the president's disastrous decision to bomb Iran without authorization is grave violation of the Constitution and congressional war powers. Then Marjorie Taylor Greene retweets that and says, shut up, you pathetic little hypocrite. You fully supported our military and IC running the proxy war against Russia and Ukraine. And you voted, she has no self-awareness whatsoever right here, and you voted to fund the Ukraine war under your president with dementia. You won't get to play anti-war and moral outrage anymore. Does she not realize what she just said right there? You voted for it. She didn't get the opportunity to vote for what Trump wanted to do because he's playing dictator. He's going all the way around her and anyone else, because he had to have immunity, remember? He had to have immunity in order to be able to do his job. So she has no self-awareness. She's a terrible person. And yeah, I get those clips all the time. I agree with you. If she was some random woman on the internet that I saw talking about that, I would say, yeah, I can agree with it. But we know Marge's past, and we know what a terrible human being she truly is. And we also know what a terrible human being that Nick Fuentes is, but he's another one who people will send me clips of and go, Brando, can you believe it? Nick Fuentes is calling Trump out. Well, you know, if Tex Watson felt guilty after the Sharon Tate murders, it was a little too late. Take a look.
This is not our war. This is not our fight. Iran poses no threat to the United States strategically. They're a regional power, barely at this point. This is their fight. And in spite of the president's reluctance, we have now been drawn into a shooting war, a direct conflict, with major airstrikes against Iran. And to impress upon you the significance of that fact, for those that don't know, for those that have been living under a rock for the past 20 years, what is so surprising about this is that, of course, Trump ran 10 years ago against the legacy of the Iraq War. And now we're in 2025. And given everything that was said about this second term, it'll be different this time, they said. Tulsi Gabbard is on the team. It'll be a golden age. He learned his lessons. He wants vengeance, they said. He wants vengeance against the deep state. It will be different this time. Where was the evidence for that? Where was the evidence at any point throughout the last year that it would have been different? And now, of all people, of all times and places, Donald Trump is the one to bomb Iran.
So again, if this was some random dude on the internet that I stumbled across that clip, I would be saying, yeah, I'm right there in agreement with you. But this is Nick Fuentes, who is a terrible, over-the-top, white supremacist, racist person. And I can't sit here and give these people credit now for suddenly calling Donald Trump out, because this isn't your normal everyday disagreements, okay? Look, there have been times in the past that I have played you clips from Republicans like Adam Kinzinger, even Liz Cheney, even Dick Cheney. There's been times that I have played clips from Republicans who I had really strong disagreements with. But those strong disagreements were over normal everyday political reasons, not over white supremacy, not over racism, not over bigotry, not over transphobia and homophobia and all sorts of hatred in this world. And that's where that I draw the line with this. We can disagree on things all day long. We can have differences of opinion on how high the minimum wage should be, or who should pay for the health care, or how much should we tax the rich. We can have those debates all day long, and we can talk with Republicans who disagree with me all day long, but I'm not going to sit and entertain the likes of a Nick Fuentes or a Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I'm not going to give them a pass now just because they suddenly woke up and now they're revolting against Trump. I mean, we could view it as maybe somewhat of a good sign that there's now trouble in paradise and a lot of the people are splitting up. If we can get them divided, then there's a good chance they're going to lose in the midterms. A good chance they're going to lose the presidency the next go around. Because what we're going to get now is you're going to get to see Trump completely fail. I think what really happened is in 2020, he lost that election. And I will always say that because that's the truth. He lost that election. But he wasn't man enough to admit it. He wasn't man enough to go back to the drawing board and start over. Instead, he doubled down on lies and conspiracy theories. He created January 6th. He created all the carnage that's happened since January 6th and led us to the mess that we're in today. The one thing, though, that I would say is a lot of people back then felt like, well, he didn't get to finish it. They felt like it was taken from him. They felt like it was robbed from them, like he didn't really get to finish what it was that he was doing. This go around, they're going to get to see that everything we were saying about them was true and everything we were saying about him was true. We told people how catastrophic it would be. And they got so blinded in their rage of believing the conspiracy theories that they took their eye off the ball and didn't realize what was truly coming at them. And I really believe that this go around, a lot of people like the Nick Fuentes of the world and the Marjorie Taylor Greenes will realize, hey, you know what? This was all BS the entire time, but I'm not going to go back and give them brownie points because they just now figured it out this late in the game. I've said before, if you voted for Trump in 2016, okay, a lot of people want to change back then. They wanted to see somebody burn it to the ground. I never really understood the burn it to the ground thing, but I do understand the desire for change because I had lived through, years of Bushes and Clintons in the White House and wanted something different. I get it. And, if people voted for him in 2020, they probably kind of fell asleep during that term and didn't really pay attention to what he was doing and what he wasn't able to do. But when you roll into the 2020 and then you go into January 6th, there's no giving this guy a pass for that and everything that's came after it. Becoming a convicted felon, being found liable of sexual abuse. There's no coming back from that in my mind. And so I'm never going to give these people a pass. The only good thing I will say about it is it's good to know that there's trouble in paradise. Maybe we will see MAGA. Maybe we will see them start to crumble and come unglued, and maybe we can get some sensible, reasonable people back in there to talk about the issues the way we want to hear them talked about. But folks, I do appreciate your support so much here on the channel. We've crossed over 750,000 on our way to 1 million, and I know we can get there. I truly appreciate all of you. So if you haven't already, it doesn't cost anything. Hit that subscribe button. Also, if you ever do want to throw a few bucks our way, we do have a Patreon, and over there I've been trying to steer the boat to a little bit more non-political content. We've reviewed cigars. We've talked about music. I've showed, stuff I find when I'm out thrift store shopping. That's one of my favorite things to do. Trying to take my mind off the madness is go look around in a bunch of pawn shops and thrift stores. So if you ever want to go along on those kind of rides with me, you can check out the Patreon. It's in the link in the bio, the description here. And we'll just keep pushing this forward, and we'll keep standing up against this madness. And in this day and age, that's a full-time job.